Okay, so FYI for you at home, watching this in the video, we kind of already started talking. So, but I'll catch you up, you won't miss anything. Okay. Yeah, we have a few people already quarantined, and we also have other people who like have medical exemptions, so like they have something that would make it really dangerous for them to be in class. To help with that, I'm posting videos of all of our discussions, and then they'll just communicate with me separately if they're missing something or need to know something else. So, anyway, so yeah, looking here, that's my name, that's my phone extension here on campus, and I thought I did this on all my syllabus, but it's missing from this one. I'm going to include my cell phone number. I don't normally do this, but under the circumstances, if you want to meet with me, I'm going to leave office hours sort of like ad hoc. We come up with that. I've always had a very like open door policy for students, so like people are welcome to come into my office anytime they want if I'm on campus. I'm usually a couple days ahead of my prep, so I can take time to meet with people. But we're not supposed to have students in our office right now. So I'm giving you my cell phone number. If you want to text me and see if I'm on campus and meet, or if you just want to schedule a time, you can text me, or we can talk on the phone and FaceTime if you prefer to do that. If you want to see my face and talk, there's a big tree. We can stand 10 feet apart. We can actually even take our masks off because we'd be outside. I think that that's true. If not, somebody will have to yell at me when I watch the video. Okay, so cell phone. So that will be my cell phone number. That's another way you can contact me. And of course, also contact me via email. My email's right there. As I said, office hours TBA. That's where my office is. So I'm out Cray Seaberg, so I'm right here. So that's why I said the big tree. It seems like a good shady spot to meet if you want to meet in person face to face. Okay, course description. Basically, this class is the class you take to get to know what sociology is. How many people have a strong idea of what sociology is in here? Yeah, nobody. That's pretty normal. You don't usually take sociology in undergrad. It's a discipline that's very specifically something that starts at college. So this is a class to acquaint you with sociology. And we're going to talk a little bit about what is sociology and hit some of those major concepts on Friday, just to help you orient to the material you're reading. Okay, none of this stuff is probably stuff that. So what are the guiding questions? This is something I include in my syllabus. So the first one is, what is sociology? The second question is, what type of things do sociologists study, or does sociology study? And what can sociology tell us about what is going on in the world today? Sociology is particularly about the present. So in some ways, I sometimes like to say, if you think about like the sort of work that you read in like history, if it's about the present, but it's kind of like history, that's probably sociology. So it's very, sociology looks at a lot of things about the context of the world around us. It talks about it, but specifically about today. It's not about the past. It's about what's going on right now. And you'll definitely get a feeling of that from the articles. The articles you'll read will be about extremely contemporary things. Often things that me and you or anybody else wouldn't know about if we weren't reading about it in a journal article. So that's kind of, a lot of it's focused on what's going on today. How do we understand ourselves today? Okay. Like I said, everything is available on Blackboard. One thing I do require, I require you guys to have Word on your computers that you use. You can get that for free through the college. Just contact IT if you don't know how to do that. The reason why I say that is otherwise I end up often I do everything automated. I don't like paper cluttering up my office. I have you guys put everything on Blackboard, turn everything in on Blackboard. I'll show you where to do that in a second.
Can we use Google Docs?
Google Docs sometimes gets wonky. So a lot of times if you send it to me, a Google Doc to me, when I open it, it won't look anything like it does on your end. Which means that there's a lot of like messiness to it, and sometimes things even get like shifted and paragraphs fall apart and stuff like that. So I would prefer you to use Word. Also, like Word is the only universally accepted word processing system. So regardless of what you go into, after this, like a good chance most of the work that you will do will have to be on it anyways. It's just good to get to know it, you know, get used to using it. So it's available through the college. I require things to be turned into me via a Word document. So, okay, recommendations for student success. These are all pretty, you can read through that on your own. Basically, you know, interact with the class as much as you can. Think about it outside of class, do the readings, show up, talk, interact with me. If you get confused, you have questions, like, I try not to be a very threatening guy if you haven't picked up on that already. You can come to me, like, seriously. Okay, so yeah, clarification, like I'm happy to answer guys, your emails or you know, et cetera, whatever. Talk after class, whatever. So I'm happy to help you out. I kind of think of college classes as like, they're like video games. Like, it's set up so you can win, but you just have to play. So if you think about it in terms of success, like if you're engaging with it and you're trying, you will do well. If you feel lost, communicate with me. I would love it if everybody in this class got an A. It probably won't happen. But the point is that it's structured to have you do well. You just have to make sure that you're doing everything you need to be doing. Okay, attendance policy. Everybody should have the same attendance policy for all of your classes now. We got sent out one. Basically, it's kind of, our attendance policy is now sort of like, we would like you to show up, but there's a lot of reasons you couldn't. This is actually like, this is very close to my actual attendance policy, but, so basically like, if you're sick, don't come. Flat out. I don't care what kind of sick you are. And this is actually like my normal spiel. I'm a germaphobe. I hate germs. I hate getting sick. If you're sick, stay home. Back to like, we're gonna record this every day. I'm gonna ask you guys to speak up when you speak for that reason. But we're gonna record this every day. You can watch it if you're sick. It's not as good as being in person, but you know, you'll get the information you need from it. So yeah, if you're not feeling well, stay at home. Also, like, as you know, like, some people are already quarantining at school. Some of us may have to quarantine again later, right? I might have to quarantine at some point, and then we're just going to go online for a couple of weeks. If we do that, we're going to use Blackboard Collaborate. Have people seen that? It's basically like Zoom. I'll show you where to access that. Because basically that will just be available through Course Tools, Blackboard Collaborate right there. You guys see that? So that's where you get onto it. We'll just meet there if I end up getting sick, or if half of you guys end up not being here, we'll start doing it that way, or something like that. You know, probably won't happen, but it's good to just so you know. Okay, academic honesty. You guys familiar with the academic honesty? Don't cheat, don't plagiarize. I usually do catch a couple students plagiarizing every semester by accident. So like, plagiarism is kind of easy to do by accident as well. If you're using sources, make sure that you're not stealing whole sentences, right, stuff like that. And make sure that you cite where you get stuff from. If you copy somebody else's work and you put quotation marks around it, or you put it in box quotes, that's called quoting. It's not plagiarism, right? So like, if you really want to steal a sentence or two from somebody, if you're like, those are great sentences, I want them in there, do it. Just quote it, cite it, and that's great. I actually encourage people to cite a lot. If you look at my own writing as an author, my writing basically feels like a collage. It's just a series of quotations I've strung together into some kind of argument often, right? That's how people actually write. So this is a good habit to get into from very early on. So don't feel like you can't borrow off of other people's work. Just make sure that you're citing your sources and you're fine. Okay. Students with disability, if you need some sort of special help, I'm happy to do it. You have to go through disability services. I'm not allowed to make individual allotments for people otherwise. So just make sure you do that. Okay. I think you guys have probably been wondering, what are your assignments? So So you're going to have 4 take-home exams. By that I mean I'll give you questions weeks in advance. Not a lot of questions. I used to just do 2, but I feel like it's nicer if there's more opportunities. So if people do poorly on the first one, they can catch up. So I broke it out into 4. So it's just a handful of questions about what we've been talking about in class and what we've been reading. And you'll have, like I said, a few weeks to do it between when I give it to you and when you actually have to turn it in. So there'll be 4 of those. You'll have to do 1 presentation. That presentation will be over your term paper. So you'll have 1 kind of research project. This is basically going to be you exploring something you're interested in a sociological way. And we'll work towards that. I'm going to have you guys write an abstract, and I'll talk more about what that is in a little bit. That's really short. You shouldn't worry about it. That's why it's only 25 points. Then I'm going to have you guys go and find your sources, and then we're going to work on the paper. So we're going to work on it slowly over time, but it'll be building up to you exploring something you're interested in. They'll help inform what we're doing in class for the list. So those are our only assignments. So other than every week, I'm going to have you do a discussion board post. Do people know how to do that? No? Okay, let's pop that up. Okay. So to do a discussion board post on Blackboard, right, you go over here to discussions. Each week I have a thread, that's what they call these little things, threads, already built. You just click and submit yours, right? Okay. What do you need to do for it? That's going to be here in assignments, right here in discussion. So this is basically, I used to do pop quizzes to accomplish the same thing, but this is just basically my way of like making sure that you're read and ready to come and follow. So yeah, if you pull up the discussion board, all I'm looking for is that when you sit down and you're done reading the 2 articles for the week, you should go and post a few sentences about each article, 2 to 3. Not a big assignment. You know, it's just a little assignment. And it's more just for you to gather your thoughts. I'm not going to really grade it on content. Now, I say that, but if you literally seem like you just threw two sentences up that don't have anything to do with the article, I might be like, hey, doesn't seem like you did this. As a general rule, I'm not going to give like a point value. It's just going to be graded sort of pass fail. You either got the points or you didn't. So if you give me 2 to 3 sentences about each article, 2 to 3 sentences about one article, 2 to 3 sentences about the other article, gathering your thoughts. And it doesn't have to be a summary. 2 to 3 sentences would be really hard to do a summary with, right? It's a lot of information to condense into that. It can be, I want to talk about X, Y, and Z when we discuss it, right? Or it can be, I thought this was confusing and I didn't understand it. It can be whatever thing. And so, but basically the idea is you kind of come in already with some comments in your mind that you might not make about it, right? So once we get talking, it'll be easier for you to pull those up and think about it and talk about them. So that's what it's for. First one of these is going to be due, and each week it's due Sunday, you know, the post for that week. So you're going to have, I will expect you to have the 2 articles for next week read and by Sunday and the 2 posts, right? And then every week it just repeats until we're done. Make sense? Any confusions about it?
So the first one's due this Sunday?
Yep, the first one will be due this Sunday. And then you'll be done until next week with your homework for the class. Most of your time will not be spent doing the assignments. Most of your time for this course will be spent reading. It's more reading, discussion heavy than it is assignment heavy. So, any thoughts? Okay, cool. Continuing on. So yeah, total amount of points. Here's my point scale. Late assignment policy. If you turn something in late, it's a 30% penalty. It doesn't matter whether it's 1 day late or 2 weeks late, it's 30%. And the reason why I do this is it actually, in a weird way, helps people who procrastinate really bad. And the reason why is if you are like 2 hours away from the deadline, starting an assignment, or if you're half an hour away starting one of the assignments, like you didn't start your term paper till the night to the day of, right? You're probably gonna do really bad on it. So like, basically what that means is rather than turn in something really bad just to get it on time, you just take your penalty, and then you can actually spend some time working on it. So I found that it actually helps with students that have a procrastination problem in the long run, even though it seems like it would hurt. So that's why I have that set up the way that I do. Everybody procrastinates to some degree, right? I don't want people to, and I do have exceptions for last minute emergencies. So, you know, like something happens a couple days before an assignment is due, or the week of, you have a family emergency, you know, whatever, right? Like I will make exceptions for that sort of stuff. So, okay, looking at the schedule, that's going to be basically our topic for the week. Right here are your readings at the bottom. Right here are assignments. Oh, so the discussions are always due on Sunday. Everything else is always due on Friday. Friday at 11:59. So if you have a paper due, it's Friday at 11:59. Make sense? Cool. So that is our class. So any thoughts on the syllabus? Okay, so for the rest of our class period, I want us to start getting to know each other. That's the wrong. I'll give you a few minutes to think of something. So, but when we go around, I want you to give everybody your name. You can do, I want your class standing. That's more for me. So like what, you know, like whether you're freshman and sophomore. I like to know where people's hometowns are. And other places you've lived if you want to share that. And what kind of stories do we want to hear from people? I like to do a story of some kind. Something about our lives. You want to hear stories about animals, speeding tickets. Ooh. Let's think about this. So let's get a time you got in trouble.
What kind of trouble?
And it can be any kind of trouble, but let's keep it both PC and let's not include anything too vulgar. Alright. Nothing that's going to incriminate you in court later or something like that too, you know. I think you guys can use your discretion. How long do you guys want to think about that? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Anybody need more time? Let's go ahead and get started then. Sure, yeah. Then I don't get to see you, but you know.
So I'm Matthew Mason. I'm a senior. I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska. Previously, I was born in Kansas, moved to Kentucky, then I was in Illinois for the longest time, so go Cubs.
Where were you in Kentucky?
Just outside of Louisville in LaGrange.
Okay, yeah.
And then I got in trouble. Last year, coming back from Thanksgiving break, I got my first speeding ticket ever. First time, no, not even a ticket, it was just being pulled over. I felt horrible, or a criminal, because I'd never been pulled over before. And I was going like 13 over. and it was completely an accident, but I got off free, so that was pretty cool.
I'm Cassidy Beefer. I'm a sophomore. I don't really have a hometown because my dad has been in the Air Force my whole life. I live in Leavenworth right now, which is like 30 minutes away, so not that cool. But I lived in Germany for 6 years. And
Where in Germany?
in Baumholder and Ramstein.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's near Frankfurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 3 hours away.
I spent 4 months in Marburg, Germany,
Oh.
so not that far from there.
That's
So.
awesome. Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I try to make connections with people when I can, so.
Yeah. A time I got in trouble when I was living in Germany. We had this door that had like glass in the middle, and it was like it was framed by wood. And I got really mad at one of my brothers one time, and I slammed it, and the glass just like shattered. My parents were not home at the time, and they came home and they were so mad.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a sophomore. I was born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas, but I moved to Oklahoma and I hate it. Sorry to anyone who lives there. And the time I got in trouble on my way back home.
I want you to back up. Why do you hate Oklahoma?
Truth be told, there's a lot of racist people. It's a little bit heavy for some people, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the majority reason. I also live in the middle of nowhere, so like even going to Walmart is like a 30-minute drive, which isn't that bad, but there's like nothing to look at. There's just like trees. Like one time I told my car because I hit a deer, so that's what that is. But when I got in trouble, on my way home from junior prom, I was running late because my mom wanted me home at a specific time, and I was in Navajo Way, and I was going 40 miles over the speed, or 40 miles an hour over the speed limit, and I got pulled over, and it was bad because I didn't see the lights in my rearview mirror for a while, so like he was kind of chasing me. But he didn't clock my speed, so he only ticketed me for 15. It was a hefty fine to pay. Don't speed, you guys. That's all.
Alright, my name's Ava, and I'm a sophomore as well. And my hometown, or what I consider my hometown is St. Louis, but I live in Denver right now. And then I literally can't think of the time that I got in trouble. It was very dramatic, except for like in kindergarten when my teacher wouldn't stop getting mad at me for yelling across the room to my best friend. And I was like, yeah, but that's not very exciting. But yeah, I never did anything. So, yeah.
You don't always have to do something wrong to get in trouble either way.
Yeah, but
Like,
I don't
like
know.
if you can think of
I'm
examples.
only one of 2 siblings too, so like, there's not that much exciting going on. So, I don't know. I'm sure it's coming for me though.
It's coming. Trouble's
Yeah,
coming.
it's coming.
Trouble's
It's
a
bound
brewing.
to happen. It's bound to happen.
I'm Abram Fossey. I'm from Quincer, Kansas. I'm a junior. Quincer's a small town, so it doesn't really matter.
What's it near?
Hmm?
What's it near?
You what?
What is it near?
Hayes, Kansas?
Basically.
Yeah, it's like an hour away from Hayes, Kansas. 8 hours maybe?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm not from this part of the world. I've only been here for a year or two. So.
Gotcha. So I have Asian parents. Right now, it's a crazy situation there, but I don't try to get in trouble. I don't think I've had a time where I got in trouble.
It seems like it may be easier to get in trouble with your parents at least.
I don't want to get yelled at. Or more of have a lecture by them. 'Cause I don't get it.
Understandable.
I'm Sophie Hess. I'm a junior. Right now I live in Peoria, Illinois, but I was born in Argentina and I've lived overseas a couple other times in Chile and Dubai. It's my dad's job.
What's your dad's job?
He works for Caterpillar, the mining company. How did that work? trouble a lot, but one of the like major times I did was my second week here at Bloomington as a freshman. A group of friends and I wanted to go like underneath Haverty. It was like an empty big area or something. So I don't think we realized like that was like wrong to do. So we went down there and security caught us. So and I had to work in the cab.
You had to work in the cab?
Yeah.
Like as payment or something?
Yeah. Yeah, if you get in trouble a lot of times we'll make you do that, like especially as a freshman and
Interesting, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
like punitive labor, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm Kaylee Blomquist. I'm a freshman. I'm from Colorado, but I just moved to Tennessee. And then I got in trouble and was drove back.
We're in Tennessee.
Oh, well, I just moved, it's like right north of Chattanooga. It's in Saudi Daisies.
Oh yeah, I used to live in Knoxville.
Oh, yeah, that's what, yeah. Awesome. I haven't like been through there yet, but I know it is.
Chattanooga's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I really like it there. It's different pretty from Colorado, but it's still gorgeous. Yeah, and then I'm gonna throw back when I was like 6, and I decided to play hide and seek, but no one else knew I was playing. So I like got into our garage and I hid in the trunk of our car, and they were looking. I was laying there for like an hour, and yeah, and then my mom called the cops, and then they got me. So they weren't happy.
How long were you in the trunk for?
I don't remember. I just remember laying there laughing because I remember my sister looking in the car, but she didn't check the trunk, and I was like, so, like, ha, I'm looking. But, you know, I was there for a while, not when my mom called the cops. So, yeah, they were on their way when she called them, told them that she got me. Yeah.
I'm Emma. I'm from Colorado. I'm a sophomore and coming in trouble. My senior year of high school, I had just gotten a new car and my license plates like were expired. And my dad was like, "Oh, you're fine. You're not gonna get pulled over or anything." And the day he told me that, I got pulled over. But I didn't think the cop was pulling me over, so I like stopped and he wasn't getting out of his car. It took him like 10 minutes to get out of his car, so I just started driving away because he didn't get out. Because I feel like 10 minutes is a very long time to just take my plates. So I was like, okay, he's probably not pulling me over. So I drove away, and then he like chased me and like started honking at me and stuff, and put his like sirens on, and then he like yelled at me for running away. But I did get a ticket, so got away with that.
Okay. Hi, I'm Samantha, but everyone calls me Sam. I'm a junior this year. I was born in Mexico, but then I moved here when I was 5, and I've lived in Chicago, California, and Branson, Missouri, was where I've been the longest. A time I got in trouble. When I was in kindergarten, I got in a lot of trouble for stealing milk out of the cafeteria because it was like open, and I saw the chocolate milk and I was like, oh, I kind of want some. And then like a teacher saw me come out and like was drinking it, and then she chased me out into the playground. So yeah.
My name is Malachi Hughes. I'm a sophomore. I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, but just recently moved to Louisiana. I live like 20 minutes from Baton Rouge. It's a town called Prairieville. And then every time I think of trouble, for some reason the first story that ever comes to my mind is when me and my brothers were younger, my little cousin was living with us, so we had like a little mini hoop like inside. And for some reason we just thought it'd be fun to play basketball on it. And my brother's about to win the last point, and I pushed him through the wall. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Amara. So I lost my voice this weekend. I'm a junior. I'm from Arizona. And a time I got in trouble was, I guess, like over spring break, some of my friends and I went to Colorado, and so we went to Garden of the Gods. I don't know if you guys have been there before, and like you're not supposed to like go past these certain points, and so we went past it, of course, and then we got yelled at, but it was fine. Yeah.
My name is Johnny Hua. I was born in Worthington, Minnesota, and then I moved to Iowa, Orange City, so you know where Northwestern College is. That's where that is. Time I got in trouble, I put a hole through one of like, so at my old school, they were doing a play or something like that, and they were gonna paint this mural kind of, and I put a hole through it on accident. The story behind that was I was messing with my buddy, and I was kind of tripping, and he said stop, kicked back, kicked me where I wasn't supposed to kick, got mad, lifted his leg, and I just reacted. I punched a hole through the wall. They fixed it, and then when my buddies goes by, and he says, oh, they did a really good job of plastering over this, poked a hole through it, and then he ran, so that was twice.
Oh, I'm Elias. I'm from Topeka, Kansas. I'm a freshman. And the time I got in trouble, I was 15 when I got my first tattoo on my ear. I told my mom that I was going to eat, so she gave me some money. And I went to my cousin's house, and somebody was getting a tattoo, and I was like, sure, let me get one. So I got him behind my ear. Yeah. I got home and it was bad.
What's the tattoo?
I
Can you
have
see it from
a
here?
crown behind my ear.
A what?
A crown.
A crown. Okay, cool.
My name's Alexis Allred. I'm a junior this year. I was born in Michigan, moved to Arizona, moved to North Carolina, then moved back to Arizona and graduated there. And a time I got in trouble. So senior year, I was class president, and we were told that we couldn't have a senior prank at all. And I kind of like dug a little deeper into the rules, and I found out if we just did one, it just didn't need to be in the school. So our graduating class was 200 kids, so I literally made every single kid park their car in like a giant circle in the parking lot so none of like the younger kids could pull in at all. And every single kid brought a table, and so we basically had like a giant like pong tournament in the parking lot, and then all the teachers came. A couple teachers joined, and then they threatened that our class wasn't allowed to graduate, so then I argued it again. And then a lot of the cops had a bunch of like kids that were like in our class, so then the cops got on our side, so then we ended up graduating. But yeah, that was probably the biggest I got in trouble because it was kind of all riding on me, so I was super nervous about it, but I was like, it's okay, we'll graduate, don't worry about it. So yeah, it was super stressful because every time I walked in the hall, everybody's like, did you talk to the principal yet? And I'm like, yeah, I did. It's okay. So yeah, that was really bad. My mom was really frustrated with me for like a month about it, but it's okay. Obviously I made it here, so it's okay. My name's Caroline, and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, but I actually went to high school at Moore Hill, so I was like a boarder, like right across town, pretty much. So I've been in Atchison for the past 5 years. And the time I got in trouble, I cut my own hair in first grade, and I like cut my own bangs like at the root, and then my hair grew up in the air, and I had to wear a headband for like 6 weeks, and that's the time I got in trouble. My mom was really mad. So.
Hi, I'm Emma Applegate. I'm a freshman. I was born in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and I live in Tulsa now. Honestly, no, I don't like it either. It's okay. I'm sorry. She's right. It can be really racist there. So I feel that. And one time I got in trouble. I was driving back home from like visiting here, and I was skating, so I got pulled over. I didn't get a ticket.
I'm Annie, I'm a freshman, and I'm from Shawnee, Kansas. It's like an hour away from here. And the time I got in trouble, I've never gotten like a speeding ticket or anything, but I've been grounded a few times. That's it.
What were you grounded?
Just like curfew and stuff.
Hi, I'm Becca. I'm a sophomore. I was born and raised in South County, Tulsa. And I've also never really gotten in trouble. But I have, but like nothing exciting. But like one time I wasn't like in trouble because of two, but I flushed I have 2 brothers and each took a rosary and I flushed it down the toilet. And then it clogged up our septic system. And then we had to like redo our whole like downstairs, and we ended up living that upstairs for like 2 months.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but it was like 2, and so like I wasn't like in trouble, but like my parents were definitely like upset. So,
Okay, I'm Hallie, I'm a sophomore, I'm from Overland Park, Kansas. And then one time I got in trouble was
I decided to pull a prank on one of my friends by stealing his dog. And I texted his mom saying that it was just a prank. She never got the text. So like, she had like a search party looking for this dog, and I come back like 2 hours later. I'm like, here's the dog. I had no idea any of that was happening, and it was not fun.
Hi, I'm Jane. I'm a freshman. I'm from Tennessee, Chattanooga, actually. And the time I got in trouble was, I was a sophomore in high school, and I just got my license, and I was supposed to be in school, and I wasn't. I was like driving around, I don't know, I thought it was really cool, and I accidentally ran a stop sign and totaled my car. And my parents were not happy. It was a new car. Bad months after that, my parents, so, yeah.
My name's Abe Subamorgan. I'm from Ashton. I'm a freshman. And the time I got in trouble was probably when I was at my babysitter, probably going home from school, and we always used to play baseball. And so we thought it would be a good idea to have target practice at the cars going by. And so I threw a baseball at a UPS truck. I didn't hit any windows, so I hit the truck though. So.
I'm Laura Asher. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Olathe, Kansas. And the time I got in trouble was my senior year of high school. I was in this like study hall, it was like a teacher's assistant thing where you'd run errands for them, like whenever you needed to. And I was running this errand, and I didn't really have anything to do, so I met some friends in the hallway and stayed there for the entire hour, and then came back. And then I wasn't able to leave for the next 2 weeks because I didn't come back to class for an hour. So.
Well, I'm Nicholas Hellman, as I said. I don't have a class standing. Assistant professor, I guess. I think there's like a ring on the bottom. Anyways, so yeah, this is my second year here. Hometown, I'm originally from Saginaw, Michigan. Has anyone ever heard of Saginaw, Michigan? So like if you're, people from Michigan always do this. So, you know, Detroit, Flint, Saginaw. Saginaw's like smaller, but if any stereotype you have about Detroit, that's what Saginaw's like. Its nickname is the Nasty or Sag Nasty. So from there, I've lived in quite a few other places. I lived in Richmond, Virginia, Knoxville, Tennessee, Mankato, Minnesota. I also spent some time in Dakar, Senegal, and Marburg, Germany. I studied both those places. The time I got in trouble, I almost got arrested for a major crime that I didn't commit. So the story is, so I was dating a girl at the time on the outside of Saginaw. There's a small affluent town called Frankenmuth, and they were having a series of break-ins in Frankenmuth. I think it was like 20-some homes had been broken into, including the chief of the Frankenmuth police, and they actually stole the chief's badge, which is kind of funny. Anyways, so like you know, they're having like as much as this town can, a sort of like police presence thing going on. Well, anyways, you know, it was late at night, and I left my girlfriend's house, and I go to drive out of the neighborhood, and this car follows me. And I get to the edge of the neighborhood, I pull out, the car does a U-turn, turns around and goes back in. I'm like, well, that's weird. So I do a U-turn, turn around and start following the car. Well, it turns out it was an unmarked cop car. So then 2 other cop cars pull up, they all flash their lights at once. And they think that I'm like stalking the neighborhood to figure it out. So they have me in handcuffs, and they tear everything out of my car, take up the spare tires, all this sort of stuff. And it's like, I'm obviously a college student. I was a sophomore in college at the time. Because it's like, you know, like it looks like a college student's car, you know, like workout clothes, textbooks just sort of strewn all over the place with random loose pieces of paper, maybe some like a pizza box, whatever. You know, it looks like a college kid's car. But anyways, I was there for 2 hours while they took the car apart, put it back together, and then they let me go. So, but they were like threatening me the whole time too, and they're like, "Oh, you're the person who's doing this. We know we have you. Like, you might as well turn yourself in." And it's like, do I look like a cat burglar? Like, you know, like 20 home invasions is a hard thing to do. It's like, that's a professional, man. Like, that's not, it's not some amateur 19-year-old kid. Anyways, so that's my story for the time I got. But, so yeah, nice meeting you all. See you guys Friday, and I'm gonna probably do something closer to the lecture than I normally do, just to kind of thank you guys, since I'll be a little bit refreshed. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Hi, Nate.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Summer good?
I just didn't know if it was like.
Pretty restful.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you're
But yeah, okay, no, thank you so much. I'm really glad to really see.
I like your show.
Thank
I
you.
love the class at Scooters.
Yeah, no, no, it's pretty.
It's not actually
Not your name.
I'm Amara, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Ava.
Well, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's just my Instagram. It's like Ava Catherine, so everyone like gets confused.